and also the beneficiary of his insights and scholarship on the matters relating to caste, discrimination, and particularly exclusion. He used to constantly talk and explain what really exclusion means. And incidentally, he used to also talk about one important aspect of exclusion, that is your lack of access to the governance and the power. How one gets excluded because of lack of access. He is extremely cultured, very civil in his conversation with others, but don't be under wrong impression. He is very firm in his views and very rarely he concedes any ground, because his thinking is so clear and so level-headed. So we gather here to celebrate 75 years of his contribution in building this nation. Made a phenomenal contribution as an academician, the scholar, economist par excellence, and a prolific writer, and an excellent speaker. I had the advantage of sharing dais with him more than once. So this boy from, what should I call, this broken man, the expression broken man, that is broken men, is often not of mine. It is of Dr. Baba Sahib. And Dr. Thorat is a quintessential Ambedkarite. Baba Sahib uses that expression in his celebrated works, the untouchables. Who were they and when they become untouchables? This broken man comes from a small tiny village of about 100 houses called Mahimapur. Perulone Mahima undi kada. Where there was no school. It was a quintessential village as a tailor-made to suit the scripture Manusmriti. The house where he was born and his upbringing is segregated from the rest of the village. There was no free access to the rest of the village. There was a small temple, come school. Therefore, he could not enter the school. He has to sit somewhere in the rear, perhaps not touching upon the precincts of the temple. He recalls a story of a man who was punished for the touching of a compound wall of an upper caste man. So what made him to climb to these intellectual heights and accomplishments? Dr. Lohiya said, caste restricts opportunity. Restricted opportunity constricts ability. Constricted ability restricts opportunity. Where caste prevails, opportunity and ability are restricted to ever narrowing circles of the people. India's experience is a conclusive proof that caste turns a country into an arid desert of intellectual inadequacies. మేధో సంపత్తి లేనటువంటి ఒక ఎడమైనటువంటి సందర్భం ఈ కులమనే రాక్షసి భూతం వల్ల ఆ ఎడారిలో నుంచి ఎదిగొచ్చినటువంటి ఒక మహనీయుడు డాక్టర్ He was not trapped in that desert. He has conquered. He fought his way and is here before us. Sir, Chairman sir, I know you constantly watch, not the speakers but your watch. And I assure you that I would not consume all the time which you have given, that is about 20 minutes. Just now I think Professor Prasad was suggesting, unlike many economists, అంటే ఆర్థిక శాస్త్రవేత్తల విశ్లేషణ ఉంటుంది. కరువు ఎందుకు వచ్చింది, ఏమైంది, కారణాలు ఏమిటి, అసమానతలు ఎందుకున్నాయి, ఎందువల్ల ఫలానా పాలసీ విఫలమైపోయింది, లాభ నష్టాల లెక్కలు వగైరా వగైరా. అయితే సమస్యల పరిష్కారాన్ని చూపేటందుకు మాత్రం చాలామంది అర్థశాస్త్రవేత్తలు కొంత తిట్టపట్టం ఇస్తుంటారు. అదొక సామాజిక శాస్త్రవేత్త చేయాల్సిన పని అనుకుంటారేమో. ఎకానమిస్ట్ ఆల్సో సోషల్ సైంటిస్ట్, బట్ సమ్ ఆర్ అవుట్. Instances are not galore where they have suggested the remedial measures. That's what Prasad tells me just now. వాటి పరిష్కారం అంతా రమేష్ గారికి వదిలేసింది, తెలియదు. But Professor Thorat, after long and cherished career, from nowhere to up there. You remember this? Julius Caesar's declaration. From nowhere up there. Having studied the society, the economic conditions, lack of willingness on the part of the governance, and the oppression unleashed, sometimes hidden, sometimes not so hidden. His observation about Manrega and its implementation was something shocking to me, which I never knew. Maybe you are aware of that instead. But there is a discrimination in the process of implementation. Manrega, మిగతా వర్ణాల వారికి అందరికీ పంచిన తర్వాత ఆ 100 రోజులు ఎవరికి దొరకదు, అది వేరే సంగతి. ఆ దొరికిన దాంట్లో మిగతా వర్ణాల వారికి అందరికీ పంచిన తర్వాత మిగిలిన పని ఏమన్నా ఉంటే అది దళితులు. అక్కడే కాదు, ఇంకొక విషయం చెప్తాడు. the most laborious work, ఎవడు చేయని పని, అత్యంత కఠినమైంది, కష్టమైంది, అది ఎవడు చేయాలి అంటే దళితుడు చేయాలి. ఏముంది ఇంకా ఈ రోగానికి మందు అంటే మరి బాబాసాహెబ్ annihilation of caste జరగలేదు కదా. Professor Thorat, I was reading with a lot of interest the latest book by your friend and colleague Anand Testimony. He bitterly attacked us, not named us, but he said it has become an intellectual passion now to ask for the caste census. He used the word caste census. Consensus. He said, you are constitutionalizing the caste. Because the caste, the only caste that was spoken to and recognized by the Constituent Assembly was the scheduled caste. Even the scheduled tribes later walked into it. Because they realized it is almost there on the same path. He says, by adopting this policy, it would not be possible to annihilate the caste but perpetuate. Very well, it's a matter for discussion some other day, but I just, since I was talking about you and since we were working together on that expert group, I thought it is some sort of a reprimand for me and as well you, because you are both part of it.